Corporate giving is one of many successful nonprofits' top fundraising sources. But what are the many different ways that companies give money and resources to nonprofits, and how can your nonprofit organization access this support? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amber Melanie Smith, and I'm a nonprofit founder and executive director. And I make these videos here on YouTube to help people like you who want to make a difference, possibly through starting a nonprofit or social enterprise or socially conscious business, or are growing the work that you're doing to make an impact on a cause that's important to you. So please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I also have a website, foundertofulltime.com, where you can find some trainings and resources to help you do the great work that you're doing. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to cover 5 of the main ways that companies offer funding and resources to nonprofit organizations. Number 1 is corporate foundation grants, and I'm going to share what these are and then how you can access them. So corporate foundation grants are usually when a company has a separate charitable foundation set up for itself. For example, Coca-Cola might have the Coca-Cola Foundation, or Walmart might have the Walmart Foundation. And it's probably a separate entity from their main business, but they are putting money into it for the purpose of making those tax-deductible donations out to nonprofits that meet their criteria. So how do you get your hands on some corporate foundation grants? The first step is that you need to know which companies have corporate foundations and offer these grants. And that is pretty easy because normally you can go to any company's website, and if they have a foundation, they're going to have information about that linked to their site. So just try this out. Pick out one of the larger corporations that you know of, let's say Target, or I don't know, Ben and Jerry's or something like that. And I happen to know that they have foundations, so you can go to their websites and learn more about their foundations. Now, what you're looking for is the eligibility criteria to make sure that your nonprofit fits, because not every nonprofit can apply for just any grant anywhere. You want to look for the list of issue areas or focus areas that they care about. It might be something like workforce development, or education, or environmental sustainability, or hunger, food insecurity. So you want to look for those issue areas, and if your nonprofit is tackling one of those issue areas, then you might be eligible. Make sure you're looking through all the instructions and look for deadlines to submit your grant applications, and then just follow the instructions to get the application in. Now, I have another video that talks extensively about grants, so I have several videos that do this, but you should check that out so that you can get a little bit more of an in-depth tutorial on how to approach applying for grants. The second way that companies give money to nonprofits is through matching donations. Matching donations is when an employee who works at the company makes their own personal donation to your nonprofit, and then the company has a corporate giving program that has a matching donation component, and they come along behind that employee and give a donation to that same nonprofit. It's usually the same amount, hence matching, but some companies can even do double or triple matches. So double what you gave or triple what you gave, which is awesome if you can find those. So how do you access matching donations? Well, first you have to make sure that your nonprofit is on the radar of companies who have matching gift programs. So you want to reach out and understand, is my nonprofit on your database? Is it on your list of potential nonprofits that employees can give to through their workplace giving program? If not, you want to work with an employee contact, hopefully that you have at the company, who can advocate from within the company to get your nonprofit added to that list. So maybe this is someone on your board, maybe this is someone who volunteers with you, who cares about your mission. You can ask the people in your audience, in your network, in your leadership group, who works for a company who has a matching donation program, and can you just double check to make sure our nonprofit is on that list. Ultimately, it's going to be up to the employee to submit a request for the match. How a lot of these programs work is after the employee makes their own personal donation, they have to go through some kind of internal process or software that the company is using to process its charitable giving to say, please go ahead, company, and make this match for my donation. The third way that companies give money to nonprofits is volunteer grants. This is sometimes also called dollars for doers or has some other kind of name like that. What is interesting about this one is it's an often overlooked way of receiving funding support from companies. What it is a lot of companies have employee volunteer programs where they encourage their employees to go out into the community and spend some of their time volunteering to do some kind of project or provide ongoing support to a nonprofit. The company might say, okay, you'll have 8 hours of paid time off this year in order to volunteer. If they have a paid time off policy for volunteering at all, that's awesome. So anyway, when people go out to volunteer and a company has a volunteer grants program, what will happen is the company will give a dollar donation or a cash donation to the same nonprofit that the employees volunteered for. And it can come in a couple of different formats. I know companies who will give one chunk of money for each 20 people that show up to volunteer at your organization. Some will do it by the hour. So every hour that our employees volunteer, we're going to give that nonprofit $10 or $20 or something like that. So it might not always be a large amount of money, but if these people are volunteering with your organization anyway, why not also receive that support? So how do you access it? You might be able to imagine that the way you access this is by inviting employees who work at companies who have these programs to come volunteer with your organization. You want to be growing your audience and building as many contacts as possible with employees who work at these types of companies so that you can kind of double the impact of partnering with them. And again, you can talk to those in your leadership team, your board, your existing network of volunteers, those that you know personally, and just ask, hey, do you work for a company that has a program like this? If so, do you think you'd be able to help rally some volunteers at your company to come support our nonprofit and help us tap into this critical support? The fourth common way that companies give nonprofits money is through corporate sponsorships. And corporate sponsorships are when a company provides financial support to an organization. It can usually be attached to a special event or a project or program, and sometimes it's just for the organization's programming in general. And in exchange, that sponsor receives some kind of recognition or visibility for their financial support. So it's different from grants in that way, in that sometimes a grant foundation will not ask for or not want the recognition or increased visibility. So sponsorship is a little bit different from that. So how do you access corporate sponsorships? Like these other situations, you have to know who's offering them. One way you can do that is by looking at the websites of major nonprofit events and just kind of take note of which companies are appearing on multiple event lists. Who are the companies out there who are already sponsoring lots of nonprofit events? That would be at least a good starting point if you aren't familiar with which companies do any kind of sponsoring at all. You want to start by making a prospect list and then researching each one to identify who is supporting the issue areas that match your nonprofit. So just like some of the corporate foundation stuff I talked about, it's got to be a good fit. You probably are unlikely to get a grant or a sponsorship from a company who only cares about food insecurity if your organization is specifically focused on education. Obviously there are connections between those two issues, but it would be a harder sell. So make those prospect lists and then do some outreach, build some relationships. I actually have a whole video specifically focused on corporate sponsorships that you should check out that goes a lot more in depth about this topic and how to secure corporate sponsorships as well. So feel free to check that out. And the fifth way I'm going to cover today is cause-related marketing or cause marketing. So this is when you as a nonprofit partner with a business to launch some kind of marketing campaign that hopefully results in raising some money for your organization as well. It could be something like the brand is going to sell this special type of shoe, and when they do that, your nonprofit's going to get 10% of the sales, something like that. You see a lot of these things around there. Small businesses in your local community can do them. You know, there's so many yoga studios that I know, for example, who are always partnering with charities to do like donation-based classes, stuff like that. And then larger companies, if you have the contacts there and the ability to reach out to them, they can potentially be partners for something like this too and expand your reach. And it's great for the company because they want to be associated with the good cause. It's good for their bottom line as well. How you can access this is, once again, identifying which of those companies are going to align with your mission and goals and developing a pitch for them, a proposal. Come with some ideas on how you think you could partner together in a mutually beneficial way and form a relationship. It could take some time to really build that trust with a company and establish your credibility, but these partnerships can be really helpful and bring in a lot of support for your cause too, as well as visibility. All right, I'd love to hear from you. Does your organization already work with companies in one of these 5 ways or other ways that I didn't mention today? And how helpful has it been for you to get that support? Share in the comments below and share your questions as well so that myself and the changemaker community here on the channel can help you think through some stuff. As I mentioned before, if you are starting a nonprofit or working on developing a sustainable fundraising plan, I have some online courses on my website, foundertofulltime.com, that might be able to help you out. I also have a newsletter where folks can opt in and get information about upcoming funding opportunities or resources that are out there, or even sometimes interesting articles that I find that might be helpful to your work. You can subscribe to that using the link below this video, and of course, opt out anytime you need. Final thought, I have a group called Change the World or Bust on Facebook. We've got over 4,000 people from around the world in there just trying to make a difference in their own ways and talking to each other about it. So I hope that you can come join us over there too. That's all I've got for you today. I hope that you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.